So one of the biggest issues I see with people trying to save their money is where to save their money at. That isn't risky or isn't complicated like investing in the stock market or investing in real estate. But there are easier ways to save your money and gain interest on it. And in this video, I'm going to talk about two different establishments I use to save my money to gain a little bit of interest. Let's get into it. The two different establishments that I'm talking about are the Apple savings account and the SoFi savings account. And in this video, I'm going to talk about some key points of these savings accounts, like the barrier to entry, which one has the best APY, and some of the things these savings accounts offer. Because I believe that, in my own opinion, there's a ton of places you can save your money that offers a high yield savings account. But to be quite frank, I believe that the Apple savings account and the SoFi savings account are one of the more simpler savings accounts that where you don't have to deal with all the bells and whistles, but they do have certain points that can kind of turn some people off. So in this video, I'm going to explain a lot of those things. Apple offers, at the time of filming this video, 4.5% APY, and SoFi offers 4.6% APY, and those percentages are subject to change. They can change at any given time. I remember one year where SoFi was just jumping their APY up just very randomly, but very periodically. So those can very much change. But at the time of filming this video, that's where they're sitting at. But in order to get the high yield savings account from SoFi, there are some things that you have to do. And as far as Apple, there are some barrier to entries. Let's talk about some of those barriers to entries in order to get these savings accounts at those APYs. Let's start off with the Apple savings account because it's pretty self-explanatory. In order to unlock the Apple savings account, you need to have the Apple Card. And in order to get the Apple Card, you have to use a device that supports Apple Pay, which is Apple products. And me personally, I do use Apple products and I do have the Apple savings account. But once you unlock the Apple savings account, you get that 4.5% APY with no other barrier to entries. Like, you will then unlock that high yield savings account, which is extremely good because a lot of places that have a high yield savings account take a lot of different things after you actually sign up for the bank. It's not like once you get it, you just have it and don't have to maintain a certain thing. Speaking of maintaining a certain thing, in order to get the 4.6% APY from the SoFi savings account, you actually got to do a few steps. But you can get a SoFi savings account that offer 1.2% APY simply from signing up, which is still better than majority of traditional banks. So I actually still would advise that savings account over any traditional bank, majority of them. But in order to get the 4.6% APY from SoFi, you do have to have a qualifying direct deposit. And once you get that qualifying direct deposit sent to your SoFi bank account, you then get put in a program called SoFi Plus, where not only do you get the 4.6% APY, you also get some other perks that SoFi offers in that program. And if you're not banking with SoFi already and you want an extra $25, if you use my link in the description when signing up for SoFi, you get that extra $25 and it does help the channel out. So I would greatly appreciate it. Let's jump back to the APY really quick because what I just said might change the way you save your money. The Apple savings account offer 4.5% APY with no strings attached, but the SoFi savings account offer 4.6% APY if you have a qualifying direct deposit. But what about those people that's unemployed or self-employed or don't get a qualifying direct deposit? Well, you will have that 1.2% APY savings account. So it really wouldn't make sense to save your money with SoFi if you are self-employed or unemployed or don't have a qualifying direct deposit. If you already have the Apple savings account, I would highly advise you save your money over there simply because there's no strings attached once you have it for that 4.5% APY. But in order for SoFi to have that 4.6% APY, you need a qualifying direct deposit. So keep that in mind if you save your money with SoFi. If you ever lose your qualifying direct deposit, you also lose that high yield savings account of 4.6% APY. It drops down to 1.2% APY, which isn't terrible. Like I said, it's better than majority of traditional banks. So it's not the worst, but definitely not better than Apple. And to be completely honest, that's why I keep both, because I do have businesses and I am employed currently, but I don't plan on having a W-2 or a qualifying direct deposit forever. So whenever I do lose that qualifying direct deposit, I'll take the majority of my savings out of my SoFi account and apply it to my Apple savings account. But on the bright side, both high yield savings account does not charge any fees. So there's no account fees or no minimum balance fees. So you don't necessarily have to have a certain amount of money in those savings accounts in order to not be charged. So that's a very good thing, because some savings accounts, if you don't have a certain amount of money in there, it will start to charge you, and that's not good. But these savings accounts do not charge you any fees. Both of these savings accounts are FDIC insured. The Apple savings account is FDIC insured up to $250,000, and the SoFi savings account is FDIC insured up to $2 million. Basically meaning if you have that amount of money in those savings accounts, you don't have to worry about not getting it back in the event that something happens to the bank. If the bank collapses, you still are insured up to that amount of money. So obviously SoFi would win this round being at 2 million. So that would be a better place to save the majority of your money, especially if you have over $250,000 in a high yield savings account. I would obviously recommend you do that with SoFi, simply because they are FDIC insured up to that amount. And if you were to do that with the Apple savings account, it does not guarantee you to have that other $1,750,000. So be careful where you save your money and make sure that you actually take that FDIC insured account very serious, because there's a lot of banks that failed over the years and people left a lot of money in there and can't get that money back. And another cool point to both these savings accounts is they both deposit interest earnings monthly. So basically meaning the money that you left in those savings accounts, they accumulated a certain amount of interest, and you get that interest every month, and it basically builds up over time. And that's pretty much why you want to leave your money in a high yield savings account, because over time it does accumulate. I always say this, I don't think it's going to make you a millionaire, but it definitely is cool to watch your money go up passively. So when people say passive income, things like this are truly passive, because all you have to do is leave your money in these areas. So with both savings accounts, you can have automatic deposits, and both of them, the process is a little bit different. So for the Apple savings account, in order to have automatic deposits, you have this thing called daily cash. Whenever you use the Apple card for purchases, you typically get cash back, and that cash back you get goes back into your account in the form of daily cash. But you can set it up once you have the Apple savings account where that daily cash actually get deposited into your high yield savings account. Because if you just leave your money in the daily cash area rather than your high yield savings account, now you're not gaining interest on the money that you're saving if you leave it in the daily cash area rather than leaving it in the Apple savings account. So I actually have mine set up to where any cash back that I gain and it goes into the daily cash area, I have it set up to where it automatically deposits into my high yield savings account, because why would I want my money not to be working for me and gaining interest? And for SoFi, they offer roundup into your savings account, which is something you have to set up, basically meaning any purchase that you make with your SoFi debit card from your SoFi checking account, it rounds up to the next whole dollar, and the remaining amount after your purchase is then automatically deposited into your SoFi savings account. So that's some of the things these savings accounts offer, but the one that I use the most currently at the time of filming this video is the SoFi savings account. Currently, I am a W-2 worker, meaning I do have a qualifying direct deposit that is sent to my SoFi account, which I do have the offer of 4.6% APY. So I am going to save my money in the best place possible. In the event that I do lose that qualifying direct deposit, Apple savings account would then be my #1 place to save my money, because my savings account will effectively go down to 1.2% APY once I lose that qualifying direct deposit. You just choose wisely on where you decide to save your money, and make sure you do your research and due diligence before putting your money anywhere. But with that being said, I'll see y'all on the next one.